Right. Hey there, gang. It's Kim George here from Your Chic Geek, and I want to welcome you to a brand spanking new video. Before we dive in, I would love for you guys to please like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. I'm going to try to make this video quick today, as I always try to do, but we know how that goes sometimes. But I hope you guys are really doing well. We are in Q4. The craziness it hasn't kicked off just yet. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but I hope you are seeing an uptick in your sales. But we are definitely into Q4 with the holiday coming up on next week. So after the holidays, this is when you really can expect for things to just go haywire from a sales perspective. At least that's what I've seen in the past few years. But what I wanted to do was to drop in a video today for you guys to talk about some cover design mistakes that are probably killing your sales. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Actually, before we get started, just wanted to mention for those of you who are interested in getting access to resources to help you start and even grow your publishing business, but through brand building versus just publishing random books here and there. I have a ton of links below that'll help you out. Some free and some are some additional resources that you can invest in. But the couple of free ones that I have is going to be a swipe file and list of over 200 low content and medium content book ideas. So you can check that out. That is the link. The link is below. And then also I have a free masterclass you can attend as well. So all of that information is linked below, but let's go ahead and dive off into this video. So again, what I wanted to talk about was cover design mistakes that will kill your sales. Okay. I know that when I first got started in the world of KDP, I just kind of threw a cover together. I figured, if I liked it, that everybody was going to like it. And, there you go. And so I really didn't put much thought into it as I do these days. So I wanted to talk about, again, some of the things that you may or may not be doing that could potentially kill your sales. So let's go ahead and get into the list. All right. So number one is your cover design doesn't match the niche. And so this is something that I definitely see all of the time. So this basically means that, for example, if you're designing a children's book, some kind of puzzle book, maybe a maze book for children, all right, you want to think about and apply elements that are childlike. You want to use fonts that are block and kind of thicker and fun fonts versus thin fonts that are used for more adult books. You want to add colors that will draw kids in. You want to have a background that will draw children in, and so on and so forth. And so I definitely see a lot of people that do this all of the time. They skip this. They just kind of make a plain looking book cover for children, throw a cute, throw a couple of random elements on it and just call it a day. And that's just not the way to go. You really want to create things that are going to stand out, that kids are going to be attracted to, but more so that parents are going to be drawn to for their children, because in that market, the parent is the target market, not necessarily the child, because they're going to be the people purchasing, right? So that's something that you want to consider. Okay, so here are a couple of book covers that I have seen for children that that kind of explain what I mean. Now, if this is your book cover, please forgive me. I'm just giving a little bit of feedback here to you, and hopefully this will help you improve. But this is one that I found a little bit ago here, and this is a book cover for a maze book. Now, I don't mind the maze being in the middle of the book. I think, that's pretty standard, of course, for mazes. You want to kind of show the type of puzzles that the children will get access to. But with this cover design, this is definitely in the lines of what I just mentioned. You can see here that the fonts are just kind of boring. These are more for, kind of adult books or, adult puzzle books or something like that. And so there's just really nothing exciting about this cover. It just has a title here. It has the characters in here, and then it has the type of book that it is. And I can't even read what this even says right here. Okay. And then it has down here, book one. And these characters, they just look like, I guess, something that was maybe pulled, I don't know, maybe AI generated, I'm not sure. But this book cover can be so much stronger. I don't mind the background color here, but I think that this definitely can have a whole lot more pizzazz to it. Okay. The description looks pretty good, but the cover design itself can definitely be, in my recommendation, to really stand out and to really be able to have a chance to compete, it definitely needs a do-over here. Now, here is a maze book that definitely got it right. Okay, so this is a maze book that's for kids 4 through 8. Now, the title leaves a little bit to be desired. I would have added a subtitle here with some more descriptive words, like maze book for kids ages 4 through 8, over 100 fun mazes for children to complete, blah, 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 something like that, okay? Because they have that in here that this book has 100 mazes, 100 mazes. Now, that is something else that I would add here to let people know that there are 100 mazes included, but it's okay because the book has a pretty decent rank here. But what I do love about this cover is just what I mentioned. The background color is really nice. You have a big, chunky looking font, which is just what I mentioned just a few minutes ago, that really stands out. I love the little ribbon here that calls out who this book is for. So this is for kids ages 4 through 8. They have the cute little maze in the middle. And then what I love that they did is they actually added these cute little characters around the maze. And this is simple, but still it works, right? It works. A kid ages 4 through 8 would be drawn to this book, and the parents specifically would be drawn to this book as well. But they just did a really good job. And then look at the sales rank, so 74.59. So they're doing pretty good here. Now, another reason they may be doing pretty good is because of the price. Now, me personally, I wouldn't price my book this low, but as far as the cover design, it definitely hits the mark as far as, being well designed and something that definitely can speak to children. So that's just an example here that I wanted to show you guys. And I love how they did the back cover here. They have some interiors showing of this book, and then they actually have they're showing the other collection that they have, which are really adorable here for the children, okay, for the word search books. So, but again, great job to this publisher. They really did knock it out of the park, in my opinion, for this cover design. But I just wanted to show you guys what I meant between, the one cover design, which is over here, versus this one right here. Now, if you're trying to figure out, how you can go about finding a style or figuring out if your book style is going to line up with some of the bestsellers, here is what you can do to figure that out. So what you can do is basically take a look at the top 10 to 20 books that are in your niche. And what you can do is take screenshots of those books. You can upload them into Canva. And what you want to do is take your book cover, download it, and place it beside those books to see if it's something that is going to stand out. Now, if it doesn't stand out, then you have some work to do, okay? And so that is something that I have been doing as of late, and it really does help me out as far as figuring out if my book cover has a chance of standing out amongst the competition, okay? And that's something that I actually heard, a good tip that I heard from Chris Raydog. So really great tip there, and that's something that you definitely can do to see if your book is standing out in a specific niche, all right? All right, so coming in at mistake number 2 is your book is too difficult to see as a thumbnail. So guys, you have to remember that when people see your books on Amazon, they are looking at a thumbnail size of your book. So let's just go back to the other book cover that I just showed you guys here. Okay, so remember I mentioned that for this book cover, it is so difficult to see, what this is saying. Like it's hard to even see it close up. So as a thumbnail, it's going to be even more difficult to see what they're putting here on this book as a call out. So this is something that you want to remember, that, if people can't see what's on your cover, if it's hard to see your title, if your fonts are too small, if you have too many words, if you don't have enough contrast on the book cover, if it's too busy, and etc., people are just going to skip over it, right? They're just going to skip over the cover. They're going to skip over the book, which could be a loss in sales for you. So that is something that you definitely want to remember. Now, if you want to test to see if your cover can be read and if it stands out as a thumbnail, what you can do is this. Take your cover design, download it as a PNG file, upload it into Canva, shrink it down to 150 pixels, and see if you can read it as a thumbnail. If you can't read it as a thumbnail, then you probably need to go back and you need to do some tweaks to it until you can read it as a thumbnail. Because again, you only have a split second to make a great first impression. And for people to see your cover design, that's the one thing that they're going to see. That's the first thing that they're going to see. And if things are too difficult for them to read and all of that good stuff on there, they're just going to skip it. So just something to remember, all right? All right, so coming in at design mistake number 3 is only designing one cover instead of multiple covers that you can test or A/B test is what it's called. So this is something that I definitely used to make when I first started out. I used to just make the one cover and say, hey, listen, I love this cover design. Everybody else is gonna like it. Guys, that is cannot be further from the truth. You always want to be testing and so on and so forth to figure out which book is going to give you the best click-through rate and which one is going to convert more people and customers into buyers. Okay. So some of the things that I used to do was basically, again, choose a cover that I liked instead of the one that people clicked on and that the buyers clicked on. I used to also make the cover design look the exact same and just kind of change a color here and there. That's not something that I do. I actually like to change the complete layout of the cover designs to see which one works the best. Again, not testing, enough versions of the cover. So that is something that I used to do. And then the biggest one that I did not do, and this is something that I have learned to do, and with the help of AI, it makes it so easy, is not improving the cover after 30 days or more of slow sales. So guys, if you've launched a book and a month ago you launched that book and you're running ads to the book and and you're not getting any sales, then there's something that is definitely a disconnect there. If people are not engaging with your book, if you're getting maybe a lot of impressions but people are not clicking and all of that good stuff, then there's something going on with your cover. So that is something worth noting. So what you can do to test this is, again, try 3 different variations of the cover design. Definitely use different layouts for each cover. Use different illustration styles for each cover. Test it to see what works and then go from there. Now, a couple of tools that you can use to test your cover designs are as follows. All right, so the first tool that you can definitely use is going to be PickFu. So this is a book cover test tool that you can use. You basically go in, you sign up, and you can upload your book, and basically you'll get a response from people that is unbiased to let you know which one of your cover designs works the best, okay? Which one they are more attracted to. So that is something that you can definitely do, and this is a tool that you can do. And if you click here and go to the pricing, you can see it's a pay-as-you-go. It's free to sign up. It starts at $1 per response. We have polls, all that good stuff that you can definitely use. This is what I would use because everything else gets to really be expensive, but this is an option for you. Now, another even more affordable option that I like even better that I found is called coverrater.com. So on this one, if you go to the pricing for this one, you can see that they have a free tier here where you can get feedback for one of your cover designs, okay? Then they have another where you can pay $10 one time and you can submit multiple cover designs and you can get feedback from that. And then they also have another tier as well. But these are definitely some of the tools that you can use to upload your books to see which one performs the best. Another thing that you can do that is probably going to be free, and sometimes I like to do it, but it kind of can give you biased feedback, right? Is to ask your family and friends and people that you trust. Now, I know that sometimes family, they're going to root you on, so they're really not going to give you like that honest feedback that you need. My mom will. She'll be like, girl, if you don't go take that cover down, I don't like it. She'll tell you, she's she's pretty brutal, but in a good way, in a loving way. She's just honest. She's really honest. So I know she's going to tell me if she doesn't like something or tell me, which one she prefers the best. And so that is one way that you can do that. So those are some ideas that you can definitely use to test to see which cover works the best. And one last thing too is running ads, low cost automatic ads to your different book covers to see which one converts the best. Now, the best way to look for this or to figure out which one converts the best is to just check the click-through rate on your ad, and that should tell you which one is working the best. But this pretty much though wraps up, some of the, design mistakes that could be killing your sales for your covers. So I would love to know from you, what kind of design tools are you using for your covers? Are you using AI? Are you designing your covers yourself? I can tell you for me that AI has been a game changer. And to me, there's really no reason why, people should still have bad looking cover designs out there. I know that people scream from the mountaintop that they don't like AI, but I'm here to tell you that there are so many great things that you can do with AI if you do it right. And one of the things that you definitely can do is make an epic cover design. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions or anything for me, drop them below and I will see you in the next video. Okay, guys? And again, I hope your Q4 is going well. Talk soon. Take care. Bye.